chora assim, chora.
Father's Day in Brazil on Polyester Avenue, one of the busiest streets here in Sao Paulo. Usually pedestrian on Mondays. Hear the music, see the families hanging out, and sense the enthusiasm and hospitality of this South American country.
It's me again, Xin Chen. And this summer we took Mega World to Brazil.
We flew almost 30 hours to get here, so it's very far. But as I explore the country and meet new friends, I discovered the complex links between China and Brazil, and it's all about the people.
Back in China, it's the summer season, but down in the southern hemisphere, it's a dry and arid time for Brazil. We began our journey with a 3-hour drive out of Sao Paulo, arriving at a state-of-the-art manufacturing facility. Here, thousands of construction machines perfectly aligned and on display. Luckily for me, my new friend Matthias is also here.
100% electric. Electric.
0% of carbon emission.
Oh, okay.
Matthias Ribeiro is an engineer who helps these construction machines from China to be customized for the Brazilian market. And now the trend is bringing Chinese new energy technologies here to Brazil. Before these beasts can be rolled out into the market, it's Matthias' team which makes changes and modifications to appeal to the locals. Matthias joined XCMG by the end of 2020. He has built his team from 8 people to 45 now.
So this is the team.
Yeah.
And what do you guys actually do?
So many problems, different problems.
How many problems a day? Like how many problems are there?
A lot.
When do you guys get into the office?
At 7:45.
7:45?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's pretty early.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's early. That's very early for you, isn't it? Yeah.
It will be an 8 to 9 hour shift, all to improve machine performance in Brazil. XCMG is a leading machinery producer from China. With Brazil's advanced mining industry, it seemed logical for the Chinese brand to land in Brazil. The transition, however, hasn't been so easy. Local machineries have been dominated by Western brands for a very long time.
The customers didn't believe in our machines. Yes, they didn't trust in our machines. But when I arrive here and understand more about our machines, I really know that our machines is very, very good.
Building the manufacturing base in Brazil cost the Chinese firm some $300 million, perhaps a worthy investment, as this year marks a decade since the company entered the Brazilian market. And this dedication to invest in Brazil for Brazil is beginning to resonate with the local people.
我们的竞争对手吧，是他们从1940几年就已经开始进入巴西市场，在巴西已经深深的耕耘了70、80年。中国制造业在整个巴西人心目中，或在南美人心目中，从原来的低端走向了高端。由于中国制造业的发展，带动了我们一个品牌的发展。
Vale is one of the largest mining companies in the world, a proud Brazilian enterprise. The firm's history of doing business with China stretches over half a century.
We're very proud of our relationship with China. We've been actually starting our commercial relationship with China even before Brazil started its commercial relationship with China.
In addition to raw materials trade, Chinese machines are also working in Brazilian mines.
In the plants, we use many Chinese-made equipment and machinery, and that has gradually been serving as alternatives to the Western-made equipment. So this is a growing quality, and all the Chinese equipment is very competitive, and we're very pleased that this is flourishing in such a way.
China and Brazil share many similarities in pursuing green and sustainable development. That eco-friendly drive not only applies to machinery and industry equipment, but is also a growing trend when it comes to people's daily lives and how they commute. And this year, is Chinese car manufacturer BYD's latest offering to the Brazilian market, a new energy-powered pickup truck.
Let's come on board.
The truck doesn't look much different than regular trucks, big and beefy.
And start the car.
Just a couple beeps.
Hear that. This new offering of a hybrid pickup truck is said to be more powerful than gasoline ones, with a 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in under 6 seconds. But it's super quiet, isn't it?
And this is amazing. This is amazing car. It's much more powerful. It's a regular pickup in Brazil, has around 230 horsepower. This car has more than 400 horsepower. It's amazing.
Pickups are a booming segment in Brazil, and now they can be green too. Popularity of NEVs in Brazil is rising fast. In 2023, sales of electric vehicles in Brazil almost doubled compared to the previous year. And it is easy for people nowadays to spot Chinese new energy vehicles on streets of metros such as Sao Paulo.
China is the leader of cars.
But I think the technology and the future is electric car or hybrid car.
Actually, the price of the recharging cars in Brazil is really not expensive.
And for BYD, the company accounts for 40% of the local NEV market.
In major parts, the cars in Brazil is gasoline. Yes. And produced in Brazil only gasoline. And we make the movement of this. With BYD, we grow the market more than 10 times. Yes. And now with the local production of electric vehicles, hybrid vehicles, what is happening? The other OEMs start to make this movement too.
But to facilitate all these trade and investment relations, a stronger bond is appearing in the financial cooperation.
Hola!
Hola, good morning.
Good morning!
Good morning.
Leticia Jan, a Brazilian Chinese who is working in the financial sector in Sao Paulo.
Thanks for letting us to follow your day to your work.
This week was pretty busy as we did a fair these days.
Before getting down to business, beating traffic is the first thing Jan has to do in the mornings as she makes her way to Sao Paulo's financial district. Jan works for a bank owned by a Chinese firm.
That is basically all the main Chinese principal banks. They do have an office here.
These Chinese banks mainly serve those engaged in cross-border business and trade. Their services, however, are expanding to customers seeking to use the RMB to settle transactions. Jan introduces me to her boss.
Our president's office.
Okay, president's office.
Yeah. Excuse me, Mr. Zhen. We would like to know about the first settlement of RMB.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're not interrupting anything, right?
Okay.
No, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Tell us a little bit more about this business, the first settlement in RMB done by your bank.
Okay, the first settlement, or RMB settlement, was happened in March 2023 because the client needed to purchase materials from China.
So if I am correct, if I understand it correct, is that because also the contract was originally written in RMB, right?
Yes, yes.
So and that's one of the reasons why it's settled in RMB.
Yes.
With more and more Chinese banks and enterprises in Brazil, locals are provided with a fresh choice. Some have slowly become more willing to bring their business to Chinese-run banks, given improving efficiency and convenience. China's Bank of Communications has joined hands with one of the oldest banks in Brazil, seeking to grow its customer base.
One of the oldest banks in Brazil. We were established in 1858, so we have more than 160 years of history. So it's a very old bank. We are very well. Yeah. Please, after you. When Bank of Communication acquired the control of the bank in 2015, we already had a huge reputation and a huge base of local clients, right?
Trade between China and Brazil totals more than $180 billion a year and continues to increase. Settlements in the country's direct currencies are becoming more appealing.
Since 2020, we were the first bank to be part of the Bond Connect, so we could offer Brazilian investors access to bonds investment in China. And since last year, we joined CIPS, and this was a major change.
CIPS stands for Cross-Border Interbank Payment System, a system for RMB cross-border settlements.
Since then, we have been witnessing an increasing trend in the use of renminbi to settle transactions, be them trade transactions or investment transactions, directly from renminbi to Brazilian real.
Now we can definitely see the culture type between China and Brazil, and with the possibility of more settlements in renminbi.
Sure.
And a direct exchange between the two currencies. Why is it important to do so?
And what we see is that, first, there is a cost benefit because you do not need to do two FXs to send the money to China or from China to Brazil. Because before you would need to change your renminbi to dollar and then dollar to BRL, or the Brazilian, the same thing, from BRL to dollar and then to renminbi. So you have one last step, which clearly brings an economic benefit, reducing transaction cost, but also operationally, being connected to the China's settlement infrastructure and the banking infrastructure, we can do it much faster.
Banks like these have laid a solid foundation for cross-border transactions, allowing large corporations to do business seamlessly. But how has the China-Brazil partnership brought benefit to the average local family or even individual? Well, cooperation deals between the two countries are aiming to do just that, support smaller households. A lot of that focus is on Chinese farming machinery and Brazil's agriculture sector. And how they come together? One point of congregation is in Brazil's northeast, where less than 2% of small farmers have access to machinery. Brazil's Landless Workers Movement is the organization that pushed for this agreement with China. I met the founder of the movement.
E aí nós tivemos a oportunidade de cumprimentar o presidente Xi, e eu fiquei muito impactado pela simplicidade dele, afinal, é um personagem já da história do século XXI, e foi um encontro muito formal e respeitoso.
Stedel strongly believes that cooperation and development should always be rooted in the people.
O que nós precisamos é juntar esforços e desenvolver novas tecnologias em parceria para resolver os problemas fundamentais da população, que são a alimentação, que é a educação. Nós precisamos da tecnologia chinesa para aumentar os programas de educação no Brasil e, com isso, então, nós conseguirmos um desenvolvimento que beneficie os dois povos e, ao mesmo tempo, represente uma alternativa à exploração que os imperialistas dos Estados Unidos sempre fizeram na América Latina.
The growing reputation of Chinese companies in Brazil pushed Matthias to work harder, and his supporting wife also gave him more confidence.
Is that coffee?
Yes. No, this is tea from China. Yeah, Chinese.
Okay. Do you like it?
I like very much.
Matthias' wife said not only did the investment from the Chinese firm offer her husband an opportunity to provide for the family, and it also energized the local economy.
Curiosity. A lot of curiosity, yes. Everybody wants to know what XMG is doing.
Eu vejo que tem muitas oportunidades para quem também quer crescer, né? Então, assim, a oportunidade está aí, só que as pessoas têm que aproveitar, né?